What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kevin with Optimized Essentials, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a tribute to Gabe Dawg. If you don't know who Gabe Dawg is, he was the legend of the NoFap community. At least that's how I saw that he was, and there's a lot of people that agree. If you watch the comments, there's still some of his videos out there on NoFap that people have recorded and have, I guess, saved and re-upload. So before I jump into it, I say tribute, not necessarily because he died, but because he's kind of, I guess, vanished from the YouTube NoFap community. So I don't think he actually died, but he died in the sense that his channel's gone. All his videos on his channel are gone. I can't find him. And I feel like I've been called back into the NoFap community, semen retention, this year because men are hurting, guys. Men are on the decline, and then the females are on the incline, right? Why is this the case? It's just the cycles of life, the yin and the yang, right? The dark speck, the black dot in the white, it becomes the black. The white dot in the black becomes the white. It's just that yin and yang going over and over again. Back in the olden days, the men were in charge, the men were empowered, the men were the leaders. Now we're entering from the patriarchy to the matriarchy. The women are taking over. But you could be the black dot in the white pond. You could be the powerful man, the leader, the king, the alpha. Everybody wants to be the alpha male, right? You could be the guy in an age of weaklings, in an age of weakness, in an age of masculine depression. You could be the guy who leads and takes charge and becomes the light, the strength, the courage, the man that people need, right? And Gabe Dawg, which is why I'm making this video for him as a tribute. Hopefully he watches this because I'm going to have a personal message to him. Was the main dude. I would say he was the alpha, right? Not necessarily an alpha male, but the alpha of the NoFap community. He was the guy who inspired me to get on NoFap. When I looked up NoFap videos, all I could find was his videos. And he had hundreds, if not thousands, according to him, videos of Gabe Dawg doing NoFap videos, right? And his words, some reason, had like power to it, right? And the only reason why I listen so much to his stuff is because you can tell when someone's on NoFap. You can tell when someone's on semen retention and that they're actually doing it because the way they're talking, the way they're explaining it, there's a level of confidence that you cannot fake when you are actually retaining, right? When you are actually doing something and it's in alignment and you're coherent, meaning you're actually embodying the 30-day, the 60-day, the 90 days, 100 days, 200 days, 300 days that you've been talking about, and you've actually gone through it, there is a level of coherence there that cannot be faked. There's a level of embodiment there that cannot be faked. And when he talked about this stuff, I trusted that he actually did it, right? Or he's actually doing it. And for me personally, before I go back into Gabe, I've done semen retention. I've done semen retention for 13 months was my first streak. The second one was 11 months. And my most recent one in 2021 was also 11 months. So I've did it a multiple of 3+ years. I would even say 4 or 5 if you combine all the times of those smaller streaks that I failed. I wouldn't say failed, but just not as long. They were like 2 to 3 months at a time. But it's like 4 or 5 years of cumulative NoFap experience when it comes down to retaining, right? Now, if you haven't watched my NoFap 2022 video, I explained what happened in 2022. I kind of let myself go off of the path so that I can swing from one spectrum to the other and experience the other side. And I have to admit, I have to do a confession. 2 weeks into the NoFap video, I fucking failed, all right? So for the first time in my life doing NoFap, where I actually wanted to get back on track and retain for a long term, I failed. And I'm gonna tie this into Gabe because I have a feeling this is what happened to him and this is why he deleted all of his videos and why he's not on YouTube, because I think he failed, and I think it got to him so bad that he couldn't face the real world. That's my suspicion, but let me explain. Let me confess my sins, guys. So I would watch the whole video just so you have an understanding of what happened during 2022, why, I guess you can call them excuses. Personally, I don't think it's an excuse. I actually wanted to experience fapping again. There were times in a nutshell, for most of 2022, I had intermittent periods of retention. I did 1 to 2 months was like my go-to. There were some times where it'd be a little bit less, sometimes it'd be a little bit more. Meaning there were sometimes I'd do like 2 to 3 weeks of NoFap, and then I'd bust my nut, watch some porn. I actually really enjoyed it, right? I actually really enjoyed the process of fapping. I really enjoyed the process of self-pleasure, right? And I think a lot of men nowadays have trouble breaking free from this addiction is because, one, they don't have a girlfriend. They don't have a higher purpose. They don't have something calling them. They don't have something to discipline themselves for. They don't have something to transmute that sexual energy to, and they don't really care about it, right? So they say they want to do NoFap, but what they actually want more is to watch that beautiful bubble butt, cream pie, all that nice juicy pussy online and feed into that and give their seed to that. Then they do want actual semen retention, NoFap, getting a real girlfriend, getting a real business, getting a real side hustle going. They want porn, instant gratification more than they want this. For me in 2022, I wanted to actually engage in that because I haven't done it for so long. I'm like, I feel like my penis actually needs a bit of loving, right? So for the first half of 2022, I didn't suppress my urges. I didn't even bother transmuting it. I let myself go 2-3 weeks. If I felt an urge at nighttime, I'd have some fun with myself, and I truly enjoyed it, right? And then that, for most of the 6 months, that was like where I was like, okay, I give myself permission to. I think it was around August, September, so 8, 9, August, September, when I was like, okay, I want to get back into semen retention. I know what this feels like, and it's not getting me anywhere, right? Even though I wasn't doing it as often as some people do, I didn't feel like I was getting much benefit out of it anymore, right? I felt more benefit jumping on semen retention, doing NoFap, than I did doing this. But here's where it got slippery. Because I've conditioned myself, I've allowed myself to give in to my urges for so long, when I actually wanted to do long-term semen retention, it was difficult, right? I had trouble transmuting my urges. The moment I tried to transmute it, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch porn, right? And November was when I was like, okay, I'm gonna step it up a notch. I'm gonna make a video about it, and I'm going to let people know what I've been doing. And now I'm gonna commit to doing NoFap for a longer period, at least 3 months. And then 2 weeks in, right, it was my birthday, a little bit after my birthday, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna bust a nut, right? So, long story short, to cap this off and tie this back into Gabe, around December, the first week of December, I was like, okay, if I'm going to do semen retention and NoFap, I want to do a case study, right? I want to forcibly put myself so far in the other spectrum before I start this semen retention journey and masturbate and do FAP for 1 week straight just to feel the negative detriments of it, right? And I did that for 3 days straight. I forced myself, even though I didn't feel like my dick was hurting. I forced myself. I couldn't make it past 3 days, guys. And I haven't whacked off since, so I'm almost a month into NoFap. And I know I said that in that video that I would make it past the hardest barrier, but I truly believe this time something switched, and I know what that key is, and I'm gonna give that to you guys right now, or shortly in this video. But now I gotta close all the loops because I opened up different browsers or different tabs, and I have to tie it all together. So hang with me, guys. It was around the end of the first week of December where I tried to push myself to masturbate 7 days in a row just to feel what it's like to ejaculate every day that some people have problems with or some people are addicted to experience. And I couldn't do it. My dick was it just hurt too much. And then I finally suffered low confidence at the gym. And I've never had that before, right? Generally when I'm working out, I'm doing deep breaths. I'm grounded. I feel my body is like present, my energy field is expanded, and people notice, right? People can notice when you're on semen retention. They don't know you're on semen, but they will notice your energy. And I knew that even during the times where I would ejaculate like once a month or once every 2 months or once every few weeks, I was able to hold on to that power, right? But when I did it multiple times in a row, I felt the weakness in my body. I felt the weakness. I couldn't hold my ground in the gym. Even when I was doing my breath work at the gym, I couldn't hold my ground. And I was like, dude, this is not acceptable, right? And that's when I made the decision that I'm going to commit to semen retention for a long, I'm not going to say how long, because, I'm going to let my results speak for themselves, right? Because I told you guys in NoFap that I was going to make it, but I didn't. I failed, right? So I'm not going to make any claims on what I'm going to do, but I have no intentions of stopping this time. If I get a sexual urge, I'm going to look that demon in the face and be like, fuck you. You ain't going to get me this time. My goal is going to be at least 3 months again. Ideally 6 months, or actually ideally 1 year. Okay, I'm gonna go shoot for 6 months. And my goal is to get past 1 year and then ideally break my record of 13 months, okay? And if I meet a girl, then all that goes out the window. But that's also not my intention. My intention this year is to take my business and move things online at a heightened pace, okay? I've cut out video games, I've cut out alcohol so far, and I'm full steam ahead. All of my energy is towards making videos. But to tie this back into Gabe Dawg, right? The legend of NoFap. The last remembrance that I have, memory of him, is I remember looking up Gabe Dawg NoFap maybe a year or two ago when I was in the height of my semen retention streak. And I saw his videos of him playing the guitar and he cut his hair, right? He used to have long hair like me. He used to have like a mustache. And that's what I did, right? See, semen retention. It just felt natural. It felt natural for me to grow out my hair. If you watch some of my videos and you scroll all the way down, I used to have short hair. But when I started semen retention long-term in 2018, I grew up my hair, right? This is like transmutation of sexual energy. Right here is my hair, okay? And he had long hair, but he shaved it all off. And he talked about how he caved. The demons got him, He caved into porn. He watched porn, but he didn't bust a nut. But he caved, right? And I think what happened to NoFap, or to Gabe Dawg, the legend, is that maybe he hit a low point in his life. Again, it all happens to all of us, right? It happens to all of us. And he gave in, right? And my arrogant ass was judging him. This was before 2022 when I let myself go too. This was before 2022, in like 2020, 2021, where he was maybe at his low point. And my arrogant ass was like, bro, are you serious? You were the NoFap legend and you're giving into porn? I told myself I would never watch porn again. I don't see the point in all this. And I would never like bust a nut willy-nilly to porn. It feels so good to transmute, retain the sexual energy. I was full of myself, right? Because when you've done semen retention for 11 months, you think you're the shit, right? I didn't think I was going to relapse. Or I didn't think I was going to go back to that lifestyle. But in 2022, when I didn't really have much of a purpose going on, right? Purpose, that's the key. When you don't have something to transmute that energy to, it gets so easy to be like, I'm just going to pleasure myself. I'm just going to watch a little bit porn. It feels so good to give into this, right? If you don't have something to be disciplined for, like the UFC fighters, the NBA players, NFL athletes, right? These people who have a hope, a dream, a vision, or a goal, a burning desire to achieve this stuff, you can become disciplined for that. Well, when you don't have that, you're just going to be watching porn. You're just going to be like, hey, I feel a sexual urge. I'm going to give into this. And bada bing, bada boom. Next thing you know, you bust a nut. You're like, oh, I should have stayed on the track. I should have stayed. I feel weak now. I'm a bitch. Right? Well, guess what? I think maybe life happened to Gabe. And he gave in. And he gave in to his urge. And he couldn't handle, maybe, this is a suspicion, I don't know. And he couldn't handle the pressure that he had on himself or that other people are maybe giving him. That a legend like him, right? Someone who was so on top of NoFap that he dropped back down to rock bottom. I don't know, that's just my suspicion. Because when I watched one of his videos, he did say that he watched porn in his own mouth. And for me, I was judging him. I'm like, come on, bro. Just get your shit back together. Get back on track. Come back, And this is my personal message to Gabe, right? If you're watching this, man, People need you, right? Not me, the arrogance. When I watched you, Gabe, you inspired me to really take NoFap seriously. The confidence, the ability to articulate yourself, the knowledge, the ideas, all of these, when I listened to it, were like music to my ears. It was like truth and wisdom just ringing in my soul. And that inspired me to get on NoFap. And now I'm carrying the torch and I'm passing to other people because other men in this world need light, a guiding light. They need inspiration. They need motivation. They need people who are actually on the path of semen retention and NoFap so that they too can be inspired and feel the truth and the wisdom coming from being on track so that they can take the torch and pass it on to the next generation. Because men nowadays are hurting. And if you fell off the wagon and if you are down in your hole, if you are deep in your depression, or you hit rock bottom again and your shit's not together and maybe you're homeless or there's something going on in your life that we don't know of, there's demons, my blessings to you, man. I hope things get better, and I hope you can find a way to rise from the ashes like the phoenix and come back and share your word, because a lot of people need someone who can tell them and show them the ways of NoFap and how to get rid of an addiction and how to get back together. You shouldn't let things take you down and keep you down, but you should always face your challenges head on, never give up, and always seek to come back, okay? Now, with that being said, guys, before I conclude this video, I do feel a strong inclination, urge to come back onto YouTube and take things online at a much rapid rate by doing semen retention, NoFap, and all of this, right? I feel like semen retention is the solution to the modern masculinity crisis. I feel like semen retention is what men need nowadays so that they can have the strength, the courage, the bravery, the confidence that it needs to conquer life. And instead of spilling your seed and busting your nut and wasting your energy, you can take that energy and you can transmute it. You can transfer it into what you're trying to achieve. This could even be getting a girlfriend, a real girlfriend for the first time, right? That's what allowed me to do. When I first did semen retention, I got a girlfriend, and I'll probably make a video about that, right? I got a girlfriend from doing sexual transmutation, semen retention. 2 months. 2 months in, and I started talking to a girl. It took a little while before we got serious, but in fact, it got me multiple girls. More on that later. Semen retention, sexual transmutation, NoFap, is like the initiation for modern men. When you can get this down, bro, your life will never be the same. I promise you that. And I am dedicated and committed to coming back, retaining for a long time so I can sacrifice this sexual energy for a higher desire. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to make a little bit more on NoFap and other stuff, but primarily semen retention and sexual transmutation. So make sure you stay subscribed, like this video if you liked it, and drop some comments down below. You have a good one. Peace.